welcome to Hanging with the Walkers. Here with my host and co-host, Rogers Walker. Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another pleasant evening of Hanging with the Walkers. Thank you so much for tapping in on tonight. You know what we do. Text somebody, call somebody, um, email, tweet, look them up on Instagram. Let them know that Hanging with the Walkers is now on. Call somebody, let them know Hanging with the Walkers is now on. If you're out walking, if you're out running errands, you may be on the job, you may be in a room, you may be making dinner. Just an evening of enlightenment on Hanging with the Walkers tonight. So please tag someone, let them know that and I say we, I know you don't see the mister. He is doing what he does best, paying the bills so that we can make sure that we are on. So he is not here in body, but he is here in my heart. So he is with me. And tonight, in this month of August, and I say we, want to share about relationships. We want to share because August is the month of new beginnings. And I think I just posted that August is the month of new beginnings. And because of that, there are new things that are stirring, new things that are occurring, new thoughts that you may be having, new situations, new arrangements, new jobs, um, new ideas, new visions. All of that may be coming up. All of that may be on your mind. And you may be saying to yourself, okay, I'm starting over. I'm starting something new. And because I'm starting something new, um, you can call it a new beginning because whatever you were doing, you may have ended it. You may have said, you know what, I can't do that. Separation, unemployment, whatever it is. So now I'm back on the field and I want to do it again. So guess what we can do? We can call it new beginnings. How about that? So August is a month for new beginnings. Start your relationship over with God. Start anew. Start anew. You, I think we have a caller. Good afternoon. You're calling into Hanging with the Walkers.
Yes, this is Rogers.
Why, hello, honey. How are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
Oh, I'm better now because we're connected.
All right.
Listen, I had everything. I was ready. The only thing I forgot was just the phone.
Understandable.
But by George, I think I've got it. I've got it. So you're here with us. He is not here in the body, but he is on the phone. And he is also in my heart. So we're still able to keep flowing. As I said, that's what we do. When he's not here in the studio, believe you me, he's paying the bills. And he's still somewhere nearby, making sure things run as they should. So tonight we want to discuss relationships and being in the topic of relationships, August being new beginnings, as I posted on Facebook a few minutes ago, that August is theme for the month of August is consuming fire for new beginnings. Hebrews 12:29. For our God is a consuming fire. First Kings 18:24. And call ye on the name of your gods, and I will call on the name of the Lord, and the God that answereth will answer it by fire. Let him be God. The month of August, the understanding of regeneration or new beginning, new things. In other words, it's time to jumpstart that book, business, dream, vision, the understanding of regeneration or the beginning or new beginning. The number 8 is the number of new beginnings. August is the eighth month of the year. So it's okay to start over and begin again and then capture the moment. I just thought it was like a really cute picture. So, of course, I posted that picture of Cece and I capturing our photo together. But it was just a perfect example to show you about being able to capture the moment, be able to write the vision and make it plain in your life in this month of August. If you didn't jump in July, then it's time to jump in the month of August. That being said, there are things and emotions that will slow us down from starting, things and emotions that will hinder our growth, things and emotions that will actually cause us to be bitter instead of better. Two of those emotions that we know for sure is anger and jealousy. I know you may or may not agree, you may disagree, but if you just think back just for a moment, how about just today? Um, Something that made you angry, something that you felt like wasn't going right. So because of anger, because of bitterness, sometimes because somebody else is doing it, and you feel as if it's something I was going to do, and you stole my idea, or whatever the case may be, or stole my vision, and we think that there's some sort of jealousy that's there. So we don't start. We just cancel it. We just put it on the back burner. So we need to deal with those emotions today. Can we do that? Does that sound okay, honey?
Yes, it does.
So we'll deal with those tonight. Anger and jealousy on tonight. We know anger is an emotion that comes internal. It's something that happens. It's something that sparks up. It's something that stirs up on the inside of you. Sometimes you have control. Sometimes you don't have control. Sometimes you're able to cut it off. Sometimes you're not. And sometimes you lash out. And the very thing where you were about to begin again, instead of you beginning, you'll just stop it. You just say, you know what, I can't do this. It says an intense negative emotion ranging from mild irritation to rage. Of course, they say there is something called self treatment, like slowing down, deep breathing exercises, taking a break before you begin to jump. Emotions like anger can be normal and is only an indicator of these emotions beginning to raise. Sometimes it's an indicator of an underlying disease when feelings become excessive, all consuming, and interfere with daily living. That's what the Mayo Clinic said some of the common causes of anger is. Um, and the emotion behind anger, according to our dictionaries, frustration, shame, and feeling powerless. Now, I don't know if that's you today. I don't know if we're speaking that into your spirit on today. But if you have problems with anger, um, let's deal with it on tonight. Let's deal with the spirit of jealousy on tonight to find out where it came from. Where is that seed coming from? Where is that emotion coming from? What triggered anger? What caused you to be angry? It says a strong feeling of being upset or annoyed because of something wrong or bad. The feeling that makes someone want to hurt other people, to shout, um, something that you couldn't hide. It's just overbearing. Um, that's what Britannica said. That these what these emotions are. They even give you stages of anger where you become annoyed. And they call that mild irritation in response to disruptions or inconveniences you may experience. Frustrated when you're annoyed, it escalates and turns into frustration, or hostile. If frustration continues to build, it can lead to hostility. That's what the select psychology said. Um, when you become hostile. And in our Bible study class, we were talking about how humility versus pride, that sometimes you're walking in pride and you actually think you're being humble. Sometimes you can be hostile, negative, and aggressive and not even realize it. You just begin to say to yourself, that's my personality, but it's really not your personality. Those are emotions that you are not able to control. And because you're not able to control it, then a lot of times it gets out of hand and causes problems in your relationship, on your jobs, sometimes in ministry, marriage, friendship, when you just begin to just, what the kids used to say, pop off a long time ago, and they have no control and can't say anything to you, and you don't know how to stop yourself. And it just goes 1 to 10 in little or no time. So tonight we want to talk about relationships, and then talking about relationships again, we want to deal with anger, deal with jealousy, deal with the emotions that will rise up on the inside of us. Any comments, Honeydew?
Well, when we're looking at the topic that we're talking about tonight, and we go to dealing with jealousy, I mean, jealousy is it's like twofold.
Yes.
It's like a multifaceted concept.
Mm-hmm.
There's a biblical side and there's a natural side.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we look at jealousy in the Bible, it really blows your mind.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when we look at jealousy, we're all thinking about negative things, but the way that God looks at things is totally different from the way that we look at it.
Yes.
Because despite a positive protective seal, other times as destructive and sinful emotion, the way that we use jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
But God jealousy, as described in Exodus 20 and 5, is totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And he's describing it as righteous and passionate desires for his people, exclusive worship and devotion.
Yes.
Now, the human jealousy, however, is often portrayed as a negative force stemming from insecurity, fear, or rival, or leading to envy and harmful action.
Mm-hmm.
But the biblical side of it, jealousy is a positive thing if you look at it from the way that God is looking at it.
Okay.
Because God's jealousy is strong, protective love for his people.
Yes.
Demanding their exclusive devotion and warning against idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are so many different types of mechanism of defense that we can use when we're talking about jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at his defense of what is rightfully his. And so God's jealousy is rightfully sealed to protect his people from spiritual harm and to ensure they remain faithful to him.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at jealousy, we're looking at jealousy from two different perspectives. So it matters how and where you are in your walk with God of how you will look at jealousy and how it will refrain in your own personal life.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are many examples in Numbers 25 and 11 as describe Phinehas' zealous act as jealousy for God that was demonstrating a positive righteous defense of God's armor. And so 1 Kings 19 and 2 Corinthians 11 and 2 show examples of human acting with godly jealousy. And there's also a negative aspect of jealousy as well. Envy and rival, destructive consequences, work of the flesh, and sinful jealousy. Mm-hmm. So there's many ways that we can look at this here. But like I say, it depends on where you are with your walk with God and what are you jealous about.
Right. Well, it is definitely a strong emotion. Sometimes it makes you see things that are really not there. It makes you think things that are really not happening.
Right.
And if we think about it seriously, there are other underlying causes that will provoke the feeling or the thoughts of jealousy in any person. There's something else that's going on. Insecurities, whether it's past relationships, whether it's something that happened in past relationships that we never got over. So we stay in that place, we walk in that emotion, and it rises up without breaks, without any control whatsoever. And the fastest way to kill a relationship is to have that on go all of the time. There is no hold button. There is no um, we can hold it down. There is no stop it. There is no change channel on it. There is no volume to it. It just arises, and when it does, there's so many things, so many people that can be hurt by that emotion, by those emotions in a relationship. Do you agree with that?
That is so true.
Uh,
That is
we
so true.
we've seen where lives have been taken because of those two emotions. Because there is no breaks, there is no release, and because there's no breaks and there is no release, sometimes it is acted out to its fullest, and then mentally they have a tendency to think that it is justified by the actions from the reactions that they receive. And you can't tell them otherwise that what I did or how I solved it, that this was not justifiable, that we took it to that level. So I say to you on tonight, if that is you and you're dealing with emotions such as jealousy or anger, um, there are things and people that you can consult with to be able to help calm these emotions that you are experiencing. Um, who do you trust when it comes to being able to talk to someone, to well, some people don't like for you to say counsel, but for you to talk to when you get overheated, when you get overly excited, when you become angry, when you have these emotions, who do you talk to? Is there someone that you can trust, that you can talk to help you express this and be able to say, okay, listen, this is what we need to do. These are the exercises that we need to do in order to help you to calm this down. We can act like it's not there. We can act like, oh no, it was just something that just happened. Um, but I have what I hear you say all the time. I control my own emotions. I control and dictate my feelings. So yeah, I may be angry, but I'm displaying how I feel at the moment. And once I get that point across, then I'm okay. So how do you deal with anger? How what's a suppressor that you have?
Well, the best way to deal with anger is to truly be rooted and grounded in your word. Even though we do get angry, but we don't let the sun go down on our anger,
Mm-hmm.
according to the word of God.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to truly not walk in our feelings nor our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the enemy really attacks us at, in our feelings and our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And when we operate in our feelings and our emotion, that leads to us becoming angry for the things that we have no business getting angry about.
Mm-hmm.
Because each and every one of us have control over our anger.
Mm-hmm.
We decide when to release it and not to release it.
Wow.
The same way we decide to smile, the same way we decide to laugh, the same way we decide to cry. Those are all feelings and emotions. And so we have control over those things, even though some things activate those or trigger those emotions and feelings, but we still have control over them. There's some things that can happen to a certain individual and they won't even shed a tear because they have control over their emotions.
Mm.
So there's no difference when it comes to us getting angry. The Bible said that who angers us will control us.
Right.
So what is the real reason that is really going on behind the scene of why you really get angry?
Mm.
Oh, it's because you stepped on my shoe? That's good enough reason to get angry? Or because you said something to me that hurt my feelings? Here we go again. That's a good enough reason to get angry? So the choice is up to you. We have to choose, and we do choose what we get angry about,
Mm-hmm.
and how we get angry, and where we choose to get angry at.
Mm-hmm.
We choose that. No one can make you get angry but yourself.
Hmm. Wow.
It doesn't matter what they say to you. If you are rooted and grounded in the word of God, he'll say, vengeance is mine. And you will not allow that to get you out of your character or your conduct. It will not change your integrity of who you are. Because you know of what they're doing and what they're saying. It's not of you. It's not who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't have identity crisis, the less angry that we become. But when we have identity crisis, excuse me, when we feel losing something, when we walk in pride, this is the reason why we're getting angry.
Mm-hmm.
Lack of self-love, insecurity, fear. Those things cause us to get angry.
I do accept that. I do accept that. Sometimes some things push the wrong button, wrong time of day, say the wrong thing, catch you at the wrong time, or you feel as if that person is trying to humiliate you. You feel as if that person is trying to overstep boundaries, or, for lack of a better way, um, disrespect you. You feel as if they are trying to disrespect you. So all of a sudden, this anger, this um, feeling, this emotion begins to act out, and then it takes control. And
So
then,
what happens? I'm sorry to cut you off, Pastor. So what happens when the shoe's on the other foot?
mm-hmm.
When you're dishing out.
Right, right.
And how they're feeling. See, it's easy to dish out, but it's hard to receive it.
Right, that's true. That's true.
And most people that truly get angry are the ones that usually dishing it out all the time. But now they have come back against you. You can't receive it. You can't handle it.
Right.
Even like telling jokes. There are a lot of people that can tell jokes, boy, had you cracking up.
Right.
But when you go to joking on them,
right,
they can't receive it.
right,
They don't want to play that game no more.
right, right.
They get an attitude or they get upset. They come from insecurity deep down within, you know? Lack of self-love and insecurity, you know? I mean, it's deep down, rooted down. I mean, this simply comes from childhood. And majority of the time, a lot of us get angry is based on how we grew up.
Right, right.
See, mom and dad is fighting all the time. They're getting angry. Uncles and aunties getting angry. Cousins and stuff getting angry. So it depends on where we grew up and who we grew around. And it plays a vital role in your life of how to handle situations and circumstances. If you grew up with a family that talks out situation at a lower tone, it'll be hard for you to get upset and get angry because this is how you was raised.
Right, right.
No matter what comes at you, you're more able to control it because you're using a controlling environment. But if you grew up in a hostile environment, you're going to react to your normal way. You used to yelling and screaming, so guess what? You grows up yelling and screaming. You used to fighting, so guess what? You grows up fighting.
You know,
until you get in the word of God, nothing is going to change.
I agree. I agree. Because a lot of times we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to take it to the Bible. We don't want to take it to the word. We don't want to take it to church. We want to try to deal with it emotionally, with our flesh. And if we are honest with ourselves, you know, that's why I'm excited and I'm not discouraged. I'm still waiting for the book to drop, My Broken Pieces. In the midst of dealing with anger and jealousy, what are we showing our children? How to deal with those emotions? What are we showing them on how to handle these emotions when we become upset? I'll say it like that because it sounds so much nicer when you say, I get upset. We don't use the word angry, or like the Incredible Hulk, you know, I'm getting angry, you know, and he turned green, and then all kind of things start happening. He started tearing up things and, you know, start shedding his clothes and all this kind of stuff because he's so angry and he can't turn back. He can't turn down the emotions. Well, some of us are walking around with an Incredible Hulk on the inside of us. And as you said, when we lash out and begin to show and say how we feel, then that person that actually unleashed this mindset or this attitude can't handle it. You know, why you overreacting? Why you getting upset? You know, why are you going there? Um, but yet and still, this was the emotion that you released on me, and I'm just retaliating out of defense, a defense mechanism. It just automatically happens. If you're angry, then you just automatically, for some reason, you lash back out at that person. We haven't gotten to a place, like you say, in Christ, to where we could turn the other cheek. Of course, that sounds nicer, right? You know, if they slap you on one cheek, you know, we supposed to turn the other cheek. Now you got to really be in God for someone to humiliate you, to release anger towards you, to say all kind of disrespectful things to you, and you not retaliate. You got to really be in a place called there to not respond, to not say anything. Any psychologist that you know, any one of them that you may go to, it's almost like you have to practice remaining CALM, calm, in the midst of every situation in your life. Traffic, perfect example, perfect example. Cutting you off, driving too slow in front of you, speeding up, passing you, getting in front of you, um, giving the American sign out the window because you passed them, you know, all of these kind of things. The universal sign, you know how they do. Honking the horn, you know, saying all kind of rude things. And automatically, if you're honest with yourself, you know, your face becomes flush or it gets tight. Sometimes the chest gets tight. Sometimes you have some difficulty breathing because at this point, buttons have been pushed, the flesh has been ignited, and now we're going from 0 to 10. And I've seen so much rage on the highway to where they take off after one another, because they're so angry because this person in the front of them or behind them was acting in a way that they thought was irrational or not courteous on the highway. So I've seen some really, really weird things, because we're not able to control that emotion called anger. Um, and I know there are some people that may deal with it, may have dealt with it. But again, I say sometimes we are provoked um, to unleashing that emotion. And then there are just some that are what they call hotheads. They get mad about everything. The wind could blow, they're mad. You could turn the corner, they're mad. You could smile, they're mad. You can speak and they're angry. There are just some people that are just in that mode to where there's no healing that is taking place, as you said earlier. And then this emotion just comes out just because. Good morning. What's so good about it? Oh, okay. Oh, hey, how you doing, brother? I'm not your brother. Or what did your favorite person say? I'm not your sister. But you were just speaking, you know, you were just, you know, just casually saying something because you call everybody brother or sister. But if you just tapped on to Hanging with the Walkers, we're talking about relationships tonight, whether it be friendship, marriage, ministry, business relationships. And in those relationships, sometimes we deal with these two major reactions: anger or jealousy in our relationships. And tonight we're
Yes,
trying
sir.
to help those that may tap on tonight on how to deal with them. Again, as Pastor Roger said earlier, who's on the phone with us tonight, if we don't have a relationship with God, then we have no breaks, we have no outlet, we have no calming, we have no safe word. And then we retaliate verbally to whomever or however because we have no control. And again, as we know, if we just be honest with ourselves, if we are disrespected in any way in our business, our relationships, our ministries, our marriages, oh my goodness, if we are disrespected in any way, automatically that emotion will raise its ugly head. I don't care how you suppress it. You could be calm. You could have the patience of Job. But it's something about being disrespected. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. And here we go again.
Mm-hmm.
What is disrespecting? How
Right.
do we category of being disrespected?
Right.
You know, being in a place of hostile, being in a place of hurt. We're always thinking that we're being disrespected
That's
because
true.
what? That's what we think about all the time.
That's true. That's true.
Job said, "The very thing I thought of have come upon me."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when we walk around having that type of mindset, attitude, then these things take place.
Wow.
So when we're looking at angry, talk about a feeling or an expression.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
But there are three types of anger. The
Mm-hmm.
first one is passive anger,
Okay.
aggressive anger,
Mm-hmm.
and assertive anger.
Okay.
And once we understand that, we're able to deal with the emotions behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of the emotions are hurt, fear, frustration, sadness, sense of powerlessness.
Uh-huh.
That's what we deal with, you know?
So,
and after we deal with all that, we come to those triggers.
Right. Right.
That escalate things.
Right.
Crisis.
Right.
Recovery. Depression. And so whenever you're dealing with an individual that's angry, it's a lot of times that they're depressed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're hurt,
Mm-hmm.
they're broken,
I
they're
agree.
confused.
I agree.
So there are numerous of things that are going on, individuals that are angry,
Mm-hmm.
that are lashing out.
Mm-hmm.
And majority of the time, what the best thing you can do is allow them to release.
Right.
Every time somebody get angry, we want to try to calm them down. They're going to be all right. You don't know the state of mind of the individual is to say what they're going through, that's going to be all right. Your emotions are different from my emotions.
Right. Right.
Because majority of the time, we're still dealing with childhood trauma.
Right.
Childhood trauma. Childhood fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's mainly what we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs us every time.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
So I do agree with that, Pastor.
Definitely. And there is another point. When I say valid point, I mean valid point. Because we saw how it was handled by our parents, because we saw how it was handled by someone that was close to us. This is how they dealt with it. So a lot of times, if we're not careful, we pick up that same emotion. Now you said passive, 3 kinds of anger: passive, aggressive, and what was the other one? Assertive anger.
Mhm.
And if anyone on the line on tonight can understand these emotions, passive or aggressive. Passive, we just let it ride. Aggressive, we take it from 0 to 10 in no time, and we ready to take it to another level. What they say, cut you to the white meat when we get aggressive with that thing. And then assertive, we've already gone from 0 to 10, and we're ready for a showdown. All we say is just bring it. We can't say anything else but just bring it, because we're ready then. We're ready for a showdown. And believe it or not, you can go from one to the other in no time. It depends on what you dealt with before you get to that situation. As Pastor Roger said, you don't know what that person has dealt with before they got there, before they left home, on the way to work. You don't know what you've dealt with. I'll never forget, I was headed to work in Bradenton. And oh my goodness, this big old F-250. I mean, she was just running close up to the back of my car. And I'm saying to myself, she must be losing her mind. So I didn't say anything. I didn't get aggressive. I didn't, get all upset and whatnot. I kept driving because it was a speed limit. So of course I wasn't going to accelerate. I wasn't going to get a ticket because you're being an idiot. Oh my goodness, she just revving the engine and just all behind me. We get to the red light. She just take off in front of me in the other lane, speeding wide open. And I said to myself, well, she must be in a hurry. Well, guess what? By the time I pulled into the parking lot to the office that I was working at, guess what truck I saw in the parking lot? And when I went into the office, because I saw her face and everything, guess who was my first person of the day? And she just looked at me. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I thought I was gonna be late and blah blah blah. I'm like, really? So you knew it was me when I opened the door with all of that aggression and that angry driver thing going on, just aggressive on the road. I just got to get there. But if you had started on time, you would have got there on time. Because here we are arriving at the same time. All you did was got in the parking lot and parked. And then I'm right behind you. But what if I would have begun to assert myself and start, rattling off at her and this sort of thing. And here we are going to the same place for the same thing. And we're here together. Now, don't you know if there had been some pent up anger when we saw one another, it would have been taken to another level. So somebody has to be the wiser when it comes to situations like that, because you never know when it comes to anger. You never know, like you say, what a person is dealing with. In her mind, I needed to get to this appointment on time. In my mind, I'm saying, I'm gonna get there when I get there. And nothing is going to change when I get there if I'm a second or two late trying to get there. So what did that really truly solve with the aggression and the anger? When all it took was just a few minutes to be able to start your day just a little earlier and get there on time so that you can relax. And that is another way to be able to deal with anger. We have Miss Dolores in Carolina. She says, what if every time your partner expresses themselves to you, you listen, don't judge, and you're their safe space? But when you want to open up and express yourself, then your partner says that you're playing victim or bugging out, or they start an argument with you just because you want them to be your safe space. They blow up on you and then you shut down because you don't even raise your voice. So now you say nothing anymore, even if they hurt you. That's being passive. Is that right, Pastor?
Yep.
And it and it doesn't
That's it.
and it doesn't make you wrong because you become passive. Again, remember what we said a little earlier, that sometimes they may not have been taught from a young age how to deal with anger, how to become a person's safe place, how to allow someone to be able to vent for them to feel better. They may not have never had to experience that. They may not have never had the opportunity to be someone else's safe space. So it's kind of hard to say, okay, you know what? I'll just listen to what she's saying. I'll just try to, not bash off. I just try not to flip off because they're saying something. I'm going to actually listen to what they're saying. They're so used to just releasing, not listening, but releasing. Can we change that? No, we're not. Were there triggers that we may have noticed before we got there? It could have been, but it probably was suppressed during the courting season before you got there. And do you agree there are sometimes red flags or warning signs or triggers that we see before we become serious in relationships, Pastor?
Yes. When we're vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
we overlook all that
Mm-hmm.
because we're only directly focusing on what we're looking for, and that's love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And love blinds us every time.
Right.
Even if the individual show you who they are from the beginning,
Right.
love will try to cause us to fix that. Oh, I can deal with that. I can handle that.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with that before. But every individual is different.
Right. Right.
So this is where the enemy trips us up at, because we're familiar with certain things
Mm-hmm.
in certain ways, in
Mm-hmm.
certain circumstances. And this is mainly what we go back to the familiarity of things
Mm-hmm.
that is comfortable to us. And so when things are comfortable, we have a tendency to deal with it and linger in that area, even when it comes to our friends.
Right. Right.
We knowing that they're not friends, they don't have my best interest, but I'm comfortable with the individual because they tell jokes, they're crazy, they make me laugh, and so I deal with whatever just to get that laugh.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense to you.
Oh, that attention. Yeah.
And so when we try to find something that is not in the individual, we'll put it there.
Mm.
And then when we don't receive it, what we put there, that's when the issue arrives.
Right. Wow.
Because you can only dish out what was put into you.
Mm-hmm.
So if nothing good was put on the inside of you, how do you expect something good to come out of you?
Right. And
it's just like going into the restroom in the dispenser. And when you go in there, you don't think twice about it. You stick your hand up under there, you hit it 2 or 3 times, and you expecting soap to come up out of there. But if no one puts soap in there, that would be a disappointment unto you.
Right. Right.
So the same thing in life. We're expecting things to take place and happen, and we're looking for others to do that, and it's not going to happen. No one can make you happy but you.
Right.
No one can show you how to love you but you.
Mm-hmm.
No one's going to treat you better than your own self.
Right.
So we're looking for people to do all these things for us, and we continue to get let down day after day after day. We continue to feel failure. If you are doing something for somebody, and you expect an individual to do the same thing for you that you did for them, you expect them failure already.
That's true. I agree. I agree. Because we really do expect that. We really do expect what we give to come back in return. And again, I say to you, what if they are not capable of returning to you what you're giving to them? What if they don't know how to love? What if they don't know how to share? What if they've never been expected to give that kind of love? What if they never been able to control the emotion of anger or control the emotion of jealousy in their past? And here you are, a passive, praying person, patient, compassionate. And to them, I found my good thing. I found my safe haven. I found someone that will listen to me. But what about when you want them to listen to you? Are you able to handle that response that you give, you won't get in return? And that's a hurting thing, that I can listen to you, but you can't listen to me. I can accept your faults, but you can't accept my faults. I can accept your shortcomings, but you can't accept my shortcomings. And a lot of times with anger and jealousy in a relationship, sometimes they go hand in hand, whether we accept that or not. Whether we accept that or not. Sometimes with jealousy, it can spark anger. It may not be intentional that that person is jealous or envious. It could be, as you said earlier, inadequacies. They're not able to do it or accomplish it. So there may be just a little bit of jealousy that comes about. And from jealousy comes anger, because then when that is displayed and not able to relinquish that or acknowledge that or recognize that, then I'm already angry. And then when I become angry, then little spiteful things happen that knock us off our normal. In my new book, I'm writing, I wrote about the situation versus normal. Sometimes we can put up with things in our relationship so long till it seems normal to us, but to the people on the outside, they already know that that's not healthy. But to us, it seems normal that they're yelling and screaming and being sarcastic and being disrespectful. Oh, they've been doing that all our relationship. That's not a big deal. That don't mean nothing to me. It seems normal to you, but to other people on the outside, they'll be saying, oh my goodness, I can't believe, they're actually taking all of that. Dolores said, what if every time your partner expresses themselves to you, you listen and don't judge? Oh, but she wrote it again. Okay. And they blow up on you and shut down because you don't even raise your voice. So now you say nothing anymore, even if it hurts. It just showed up again. I'm telling you, when it comes to anger, as you said before, passive anger, aggressive anger, and assertive. We have to know the difference, because if it becomes assertive or aggressive, then someone can get hurt in the midst of that. And to a degree to where it goes from 0 to 10 in no time is not healthy, and it's not a safe space. There are some people that when they become angry, they express themselves in a loud voice. Does that make sense, Pastor?
Yes, it does.
They just start talking loud until they get it out. And then when they get it out, then they calm right down. But in the meantime, because of the aggression, the volume of the voice, then you got your heart racing, you're short of breath, you're sweating, you're scared, you're having tachycardia, you think you're gonna have a heart attack because they yelling so loud you don't know if now they're going to try to hurt me. And then they kind of calm down. So now here I am with all these emotions that I've gone through, and then the situation is over. It's like the eye of the storm. It just passes over, and then there's a calmness. And to you, because you're used to it, you know what the triggers are. So you're going to make sure you don't trigger that person, but you're going to stay there in the midst of that until the next time. And then here we go again, just like a roller coaster type of emotion. And again, we go back to jealousy. Can we tell if it's anger versus jealousy? Can we tell where there is a trigger, where there is, as you said earlier, a feeling of inadequacy that caused the jealousy, that provoked the anger? Can we tell the triggers? Can we tell the stages from one to the other? Or do we just think that's normal, that every time you say something or want to do something, it's sarcasm? Or if I were you, I wouldn't do that. If I were you, I wouldn't try it like that. You did a Bible study. You was telling us about when a person says, if I had that, this is what I would do with it. If I had that, I would wear that. If I had it, I would do it like that. You remember the Bible study you were teaching about that?
I think I do.
Uh-huh. That we get to a point to where if that was my car, I'd do it like this. If that was my house, or I wouldn't buy that house. I wouldn't live there. We get to a point to where covetousness. We get to a point to where we covet because we don't understand the difference. We don't think anything of it. As a matter of fact, we are just thinking that it's just a regular conversation. But we don't even know we're walking against the will of God, because we are already saying what we would have done. If that was my husband, I wouldn't treat him like that. If that was my wife, I wouldn't treat him like that. If that was my friend, if you were my friend, there's no way I talk to you like that. There's no way I treat you like that. And according to the word, it's called covetousness. So when we do that and we provoke these emotions, and then there's a retaliation or a reaction, it almost always goes to anger. Because then I find out, oh my goodness, all this long time, I thought this was my friend. I thought this was someone that loved me. I thought this was someone that respected me. But in all actuality, it was something else totally different. And now we're angry. Look to see in your situation if there has been in your past a sense of rejection, a sense of denial, a sense of insecurity on your own part. Remember, you're always supposed to search yourself first. We never jump to a conclusion and think it's always the other person. Go from the beginning, as Pastor Roger always said. Look to see if it's something that you did, something that you started, something that you said, something that you provoked first. Search yourself first. And then begin to try to figure out, how was this provoked? How did this come about? Why am I jealous? What is it about this? He always get me about the cliches. Why do people call it a green-eyed monster or green-eyed devil? But why do I feel jealous? Why do I feel envious about what they said, what they did, what they have, how they carry themselves, where they are, their position, their promotion? Why is that emotion there? Is it something that wasn't dealt with in my childhood, in my raising, in my upbringing, something that I've seen, something that I didn't have in my past that caused me to have that? that now turns into anger when I don't have it, I can't get it, I'm not promoted, I'm not complimented, I'm not the center of attention, I become angry. And then I become spiteful. And then it's everybody's fault except mine because there was an emotion that I didn't deal with in my upbringing that I thought was normal, but in all actuality, it was something that was broken. Another broken piece of me that I just ignored. And now I'm grown. And now here it is. And how do I deal with it? If you're just joining us, welcome to Hanging with the Walkers. We're talking about relationships on tonight. August is a month of new beginnings. And as we walk into this new month that's already here, there's some places in your life that you need to jump. You've been stagnant, doing the same thing, no growth, no newness, not building, no visions, no dreams. You're just stagnant. So now in this month of August, now it's time to jump. Now it's time to start that new beginning. And in doing so, there's some things and emotions that we have to get rid of. And the two that we're dealing with tonight is anger and jealousy. In any relationship, whether it's business, marriage, ministry, friendship, at one point or another, you have experienced one or the other. And how do we deal with it? How do we stop it from breaking down our new beginnings? How do we stop it so that the thing that we are supposed to birth is not aborted prematurely because we walk around in these emotions?
A lot of times, Pastor, there's one key word that would kickstart and help us break this cycle of jealousy and anger, and that is forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go back and forgive those that hurt us. Because as long as we hold on to that unforgiveness in our heart, we're going to have these up and down relationships over and over and over, because we're going to try to find people to cover that area in which they can't do. So this is why we find ourselves with multiple partners.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we find ourselves resisting the truth. So when someone tells you something that is happening, even though I know you see it, but you will say that you don't see it, you get angry with the individual because they point it out to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of unforgiveness.
Yes.
That we have not truly forgiven those that have hurt us. We say, oh, I forgive you, but I'll forget. That's not forgiving.
No, it's not.
Imagine God would tell us that, hey, I forgive you, boy, but I ain't forgot what you done. But he said he know our forgiveness and the sea of forgiveness, that he what? Bring it forth no more.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that. And so this is what we hold on to, is unforgiveness, and it's festering in our heart, and then putting the walls and rabbit foot bulls and blockage and cover all over, so that we'll never love an individual the way that we intend to love, but we're expecting someone to love us when you don't even love yourself.
Okay. Now,
and so it's hard for someone to love you when you don't love.
Here's a perfect example that Dolores from South Carolina posted. She said, I can't handle, but I stay because I'm 47. I'm not getting any younger. And I feel like if I love and continue to be faithful, loyal, and monogamous, and continue to show that I'm there, maybe they'll change. But I feel like I'm dealing with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Isn't that a perfect example?
Yeah, the only one that's changing is her.
Exactly. Exactly. And sometimes we have to understand emotions. And as you always say, we have to accept that person for what they show us,
Yes, yes.
Because you can't raise them over again. And only God can do it. Only God can do the changing. Only God can take something and make nothing. And sometimes because of how you may be, because of what you exhibit, because you are in a place where I'm just going to stay because I feel like I'm up in age and I may not be able to find anybody else. But in your heart and mind, you know that you deserve better. As Pastor Roger said, there's a period of unforgiveness somewhere where I never forgave myself. And I feel like I deserve this and it's okay. That I don't know how to let this go so that I can grow and begin to get into what God has for me, which is a healthy relationship. Emotionally, the roller coaster or the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I call it Superman versus Clark Kent in one of my books, to where there's a change mentally and physically, it can take a toll on a person's emotions because it can have you so confused from day to day in our normal everyday routines. We're not able to really function at 100% because we're so broken. And there's so much unforgiveness that's in our heart toward whomever that has hurt us. So it's hard to function at full capacity. Good afternoon. You're calling into Hanging with the Walkers.
That has hurt us. Good evening.
I think someone just chimed in.
Yeah. Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let me try to get changed over here to some Bluetooth so I can hear what's going on with you on Facebook.
Yeah, turn your volume down on your phone. You got it?
Yeah.
Almost. And while he's getting that, getting his volume straight, and as she says, now I'm on 3 antidepressants. Just kind of going back to what we were saying, that a lot of times it can affect your health because of the up and down, because of the emotions, because of everything that's going on the inside, because we're not able to let go, because we're not able to heal from those emotions. I wrote in my book, Forever Growing, anger, Webster's definition of anger, a strong feeling of displeasure and usually of antagonism. And I said, Lord, help us when it comes to our temper because it wants to destroy our future. Being infuriated, enraged, irate, provoked, irritated. And then there is a trigger of the emotions. And sometimes we have to be careful and mindful when a person is going through their own triggers, that they don't ruin or hinder our growth because they're not able to get it together. And when do we get to a point to where we understand and realize that we deserve better and that God loves us? His love is real. His love doesn't hurt. His love doesn't have triggers. It's healing, it's soothing, and it provokes positive things in our life. But if we're in a relationship that's causing us to get to where we need medication to deal with them, then we understand and know that that's not considered a quote unquote healthy relationship. And
Exactly.
we have to be man and woman enough to accept that. And we want love.
Exactly.
We say it all the time. The only real love is the love of Christ. Everything else we got to work on every day. And if we did like that deer that pants at the brook for water, if we desired and longed for God like that, if we desired a relationship with Him like that, that whatever it takes, that I would love Him unconditional, without hindrance, without fail, if we loved Him like that, then He would send us what we need in our life. But that's not the kind of love that we give God. We give Him a part-time, or like you always say, a light switch kind of relationship. Turn it on when we need it, and okay, we've had enough. Now I'm gonna cut it off. because I found another substitute for your love. But there is no substitute for the love of God. And if it gets to a point to where it is bothering our emotions, that affects our health, it is not considered a healthy relationship. I want to say that for the record. It is not considered a healthy relationship. And again, I say it all the time. Only God can do it. Only God can heal. Only God can change. We can't do it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pastor.
Also, Pastor, when we truly remove unforgiveness from our heart for the things that have hindered us, bothered us, hurt us, have took us to a place that we didn't want to go, then we'll know our value and our worth.
Mm-hmm.
Until we understand our value and our worth, we will accept things that are common. We will accept things that are beneath us. We will degrade ourselves. We will belittle ourselves. We will insert ourselves into situations that we have no business in. It's because we don't know our value and our worth. And we'll say things and we'll put up with things just to feel a temporary fix.
Yes. Yes, I agree. Sometimes
we got to know our worth. We got to know our value.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And by the time we realize it, we're already into. I can't say we're already in too deep. I can't say that. You're never in too deep. There, He will provide a way of escape if we so desire it. But we've ran into people that have found love in their 80s. My uncle got married again in his 80s, but he was in Christ and God sent him what he needed. I was just talking to a lady the other day. She's 48 years old. Finally found her soulmate, got married, and had a baby at 48 years old. But she waited on God. She waited on Him to send her what she needed. She didn't follow her flesh. She just waited on God. Everybody saying, "Oh, you just too, you probably should." And no, I'm going to wait on God. And whenever He sends me, however long it takes, that's what I'm going to do. And she just shared that with me on yesterday. 48 years old, finally found her soulmate and got married. And they have a beautiful baby in the midst of the relationship. But she waited. And we can't settle for second because God wants only the best for us. And that means that we should want it for ourselves. We desire greater. We desire better. So because of that, we definitely have to learn how to wait. And of course, age is but a number because, we see some young 70s and 80s. We have a young 70 plus on the line with us now. There still is a mover and a shaker and doing some great things on this side. But we just have to wait on God. Anything else, Pastor?
Just forgive.
Right. Forgive yourself first, right?
Yeah, exactly. It'll relieve all the headache that you're dealing with right now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And your eyes were open and you was truly see clearer than what you're seeing right now. If you forgive. Truly sincere forgive yourself and forgive the individuals that have hindered and hurted you from past relationships, past employment, past friendship, past churches, or whatever you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
If you forgive and truly let go, then God can truly enter into your heart and move you forward in the things that He wants you to have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not you then. Because unforgive halts your prayer. It halts your walk with Him. It halts everything about who you truly are.
Yes.
So this is why we're bitter, we're angry, we're mad, you know what I mean? We're assertive in certain areas, we're aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we're job hopping over and over and over. This is why everywhere we go, it's always a problem. And there's always going to be a problem because you are the problem.
And you got to
forgive. It will allow God to cleanse you so that you can be truly healed.
And you got to receive that. You got to receive that. In this book that I wrote, Forever Growing, 2 years ago, I wrote that aggressive thoughts lead to aggressive conversation. Aggressive conversations lead to flared tempers. You know the rest. Sometimes There are things that are spoken during heated fellowship that can last a lifetime if forgiveness does not take place. There are things spoken in the midst of venting that will be taken to the grave. That person may not ever let you know just how much or how deeply your words hurt. And things spoken or released in heated fellowship, I'm telling you, shape the path or direction of relationships. If healing does not take place, intimacy, communication, and closeness may be affected. Their touch may change, their smile may change. First Thessalonians 5 and 16 says to rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing in everything. Give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. And you receive that with prayer and pray without ceasing to be able to rejoice that there's no time to argue in our relationships. It says in Colossians 4 and 6, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. Keywords, always and gracious. Each person. Conversation ought to be gracious and seasoned with salt. And if you're on medication, there is no way your conversation is seasoned with salt and gracious. There's no way that the words that he's speaking into your spirit is healing for you. As a matter of fact, it's toxic. Because if you have to be on medications in order to be with this person, that again, I say that is considered as an unhealthy relationship. And there are people that you are crossing paths with is taking the brunt of what you're experiencing in your relationship because you're not able to fully explain yourself to them. You may be popping off on somebody else because whomever this person is that I'm dealing with, I can't release. I can't let go. I haven't forgiven. I'm being hurt and broken at home. So other people are getting the unhealthy side of you. They're not getting the real you because you're hurt and you're broken and you're walking in unforgiveness. And because of that, there is no way you can have healthy relationships on your job or with your children or with anybody else because you're walking in brokenness. Got to accept that. You got to receive that. There's no other way around that. Dr. Frierson says people become so immersed in their own thoughts and beliefs that they can't hear any other viewpoint. And sound like this is where this young man may be at this point. And now, what you are now is just a sounding block to him. What you are is just someone that he can lash out and release his anger, release all of the emotions that he have because he knows that you're passive. You're not going to say anything because you want the relationship to work, and you're still there. So you feel like, okay, well, it must be okay with her. She's not rejecting me. She's not leaving. She's still here. So of course, she must like it. But in the meantime, you're going in and out of the doctor's office trying to find quick fixes so that your emotions can be in one piece. And it's not fair to you. It's not fair to the people that you deal with. It's not fair to family members. It's not fair to strangers that you may meet. That there's a conversation that needs to be had because you're a beautiful person inside and out. So there's no way that they're getting the real you because you're hurt, because you're broken, because you're angry, and because there's some unforgiveness that's there that has not been released. So I hope that helped. I hope that resonated with you. I hope that sank into your spirit on tonight, because I know that was the Lord that had you to tap in on tonight, because there is healing that needs to take place on the inside. As Pastor Roger said earlier, you got to forgive yourself first. Past relationships that you may have been through in your past that was not healthy for you, that you put up with, that you felt like I didn't get 100% of them, but they got 100% of me. And I went on, that relationship was broken. You healed, stopped for a while, and then here we go in another relationship. And all that baggage, like Erykah Badu said, just came from that old relationship into this relationship. Now, I don't want to be single. I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to go on without anyone. I don't want to be lonely. So because of that, I'm going to take whatever is dished out. That's not reality. That's not real. And that's not God. I'm sorry. Because you don't have to do that. The only person I know that gives you real love is God. And if they don't know the heart of God, If they can't love like Christ said to love, that's not a real relationship. And you got to know that you deserve better. You got to understand that you deserve better. Chantel, we were sharing with a young lady out of Carolina, and what she was saying that in the relationship that she's in, because of the conversation with the relationship, because of the things that's being spoken into her spirit, she had to be on antidepressants. We understand and know that it is a if there's a need for it in our life, we know that it's going to be helpful. But in her case, she was just saying that the relationship and the conversation with this young man has provoked her to where she had to go on antidepressants. And like I said, I know you just joined, so I just wanted to explain that. So yes, it's good because, like I said, we got to know when we need help. We got to know that doctors are placed here for a reason to be able to help us when we need help and know the difference and know when we need help. So thank you so much for understanding and knowing and bringing out that point, because if someone else just joined, they may have thought the same thing. But yes, definitely, definitely, definitely. This is a young lady that we knew for some years ago. Know that she has a beautiful heart. Know that she has a giving spirit. Knows that she tried to help everyone. But she was just saying earlier in the podcast that, because she's 47, she's going to stay in a relationship. But from the conversation and the way it's dealing with her mentally, she had to go on drugs to still be there, and she don't want to be by herself, so she's going to stay in a relationship, being able to use these things to help calm her nerves because of the negativity. So yes, ma'am, no problem. And thank you so much for joining, Chantel. If you just joined us on tonight, we are hanging with the Walkers. We have Pastor Roger that's on the line with us on tonight. And we're talking about relationships tonight. And we were talking about jealousy and anger in the relationship, how to deal with it, how to know the triggers, how to be able to handle them, how to be able to release, how to be able to now walk in forgiveness, to let go all unforgiveness, all hurt, all pain, to be able to walk into a place that I am in a passive mindset, to where I'm going to speak to you the way that you want to be spoken to. I'm not going to allow jealousy and envy to provoke anger in our relationship. I'm going to deal with me and all the things that may cause me to feel that way, so that I won't be angry, so that I won't blast off, because I won't get sarcastic. I won't say things that trigger you that I know that you don't like because I'm angry. And that's the only way that I know how to get back at you, to just say something sarcastic, or say something that I know that you don't like. Say something that I know that's not true, but it's going to provoke you and make you angry. And now both of us are angry. And then what have we solved in the midst of a relationship? Does that make sense, Pastor?
Yes, it does.
Yes. Now, any comment at that
Yes, it
point?
does. No?
I'll tell you, it's really a great topic. And as I said, in this month of August, eighth month, new beginnings, starting new relationships, new friendships, new ministries, new visions, birthing new ideas, new visions, going into another place in your life, in your relationship, in your ministries, in your marriages. Even though it may be married 30, 40 years. We are in the month of August. We're going to do something new. We're going to do something exciting. We're going to start something new. We may have been going on date night, and personal friend. We may be going out to dinner, but this is the month of August. We're going to do something different. We're going to explore a new place to dine, a new vacation spot, something new, a new adventure, something we haven't done before in the month of August, to just capture and put a spot that this is the month of new beginnings. We're going to let go anger. We're going to bind that spirit of anger on tonight, that spirit of jealousy, that spirit of envy that would try to raise up. And you know it, because that emotion is so strong when you become angry. As we said earlier, the cheeks become flushed, and sometimes the face turn red, and some people get so angry until they begin to cry. they're so angry. They don't get aggressive. They don't fight. They don't pull up the blinky out. They don't the blicky out. They don't do that. But they get so angry so they feel like if they if they, had something in their hand, they probably would hurt someone. We don't want you to get to that point. We want you to understand and know that there is help available. When you know that those emotions are where you can't handle them, where they're out of control, there is help. First of all, there is a man named Jesus. Second, there is prayer. And third, we need to form a relationship with him so that those breaks that we thought we had that are not working, they will begin to work now. And we won't say or do something that we know is going to provoke your brother to wrath. Because guess what? That's a sin. They made you angry. They said something that you didn't like. They didn't respond the way you wanted them to respond. So now I'm angry. I asked you something and you didn't respond. And now I'm going 0 to 10 because I didn't get the response that I wanted. Stop. Breathe. My cousin, I was talking to her today, Katina. Count to 10 if that's what it takes, and then start all over again. But understand and know you can't change anyone. Only God can do it. Look for the triggers, things, red flags that you know are there. But first, start by knowing thyself. Know what I'm capable of. Know what my triggers are. Know what I do and don't like. Know what I can and cannot take. Know where I am emotionally. Am I walking in unforgiveness? Am I walking in brokenness? Because there are others that are watching your life that is going to pattern themselves after you. Because if it worked for you, then it may work for them. Every moment is a teaching moment in our lives because of who we are and because of whose we are. And people are watching our lives, how we handle these triggers, how we handle these emotions in our life. So, what are you teaching? As a matter of fact, today, what have you taught? What have you shown someone today on how to handle bitterness, anger, jealousy, patience? What did you teach today? As a matter of fact, oh man, that's good to me. That's good to me. Anything else, Pastor, before we go?
Good. Just remember, please, 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 just forgive.
Mm-hmm.
No, connect with your accountability partner.
Yes.
Increasing your prayer life. Stop just waking up, going about your day. Stop just going through the whole day without talking to God. Talk with him throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, it will ease a lot of that aches and pains that you're dealing with because you're trying to do it on your own. But continue to build an authentic relationship with your Lord and Savior.
Mm-hmm.
Do not take this walk for granted.
Yes.
Please do not take it for granted.
Yes.
Please do not take it for granted. We have too many people that are treating God like a light switch. I only want to turn them on when they need something or something bad doesn't happen. That's when we want to call on the name of Jesus. But what about calling on when ain't nothing happen?
Yeah.
Do you know how to store prayers? Do you know how to pray? Praying for the future tense.
Yes.
But what about the present tense?
Yes. Yes.
So let us continue to stand firm. Gird up our loins with flat foot and our shoulders railed back and our head held high. Let us continue to live for our Lord and Savior. Let us continue to do the right thing, even if those around you do not.
That is so true.
Do not allow the enemy to anger you. Do not allow the enemy to upset you or control you.
Mm-hmm.
Be the light. Be the beacon. Because when people see you, you're the only thing that they're going to see of Jesus Christ by looking at your life. It's not about what you're saying, but it's about what you are doing that makes the difference.
That's it. That's it.
And I'm going to leave this with you right here. And I want you to answer this question in your privacy.
Mm-hmm.
How is your walk with your Lord and Savior?
Okay. Okay. That says a lot. That says a lot. Dr. Friesen says, what is scary is Proverbs 18:1. And it tells us those who turn away from listening will dwell among spirits, indicating the dire consequences of ignoring the truth. That's a reality by itself. And say these spirits are the spirits of anger, rebellion, and even destruction. When we don't want to listen, when we turn away from truth, and this is a truth on tonight, we already know that you're in a bad place. These are truths on tonight. But when the truth is given to you and there is a solution and you walk away from it and you ignore these truths that are being released tonight, then he said these spirits of anger, rebellion, and even destruction is what are consequences and will dwell among you. So you got to receive that on tonight. You got to receive that. And then Chantel says, knowing ourselves, we can learn a lot about ourselves from our emotions like anger and jealousy. So true. We learn a lot about ourselves. We know, she says, when we feel those emotions, we need to sit with them and explore the why and the root of those issues. And I'm telling you, everyone that's on the line on tonight, please like and share this video because someone that you know may be dealing with anger, jealousy, or envy. And I promise you, there's some young person in your life that you need to have this conversation with that is so angry and so bitter from their upbringing and their childhood, and they have no one else to speak to or vent to. And the Lord has sent them in your life to be able to help them to deal with that anger, to deal with that temper. That's going to stop them from getting where God needs them to be. So you didn't just tap on tonight just because. This is something that the Lord wanted you to share because there's someone in your life that you need to help deal with this. And if we be honest with ourselves, as Pastor Roger said, there's situations and times in our life, in our childhood, that we have become so angry because of bitterness, unforgiveness, rejection, denial, that there were decisions that we made in our life. You ain't got to answer it tonight, but there were decisions that you made in your life out of anger. There were things and people that you walked away in your life because of anger that you did not deal with, that you did not go to God with. You allowed your flesh to make you react. And because of that seed of bitterness growing up on the inside of you, those roots, decisions that you made in life were based on places where you were angry and never healed, never forgave. And then you look, now you're grown and you're still dealing with those things, hidden things that in the subconscious mind that you're saying to yourself, if I had just waited and healed and allowed God to minister to me, I never would have did this, never would have done that, never would have moved there, never would have made this choice, never would have married them, never would have started that business, that friendship, or that marriage. But because I never healed of my broken pieces, now I'm in a place and now I got to make it work. I'm telling you, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I couldn't say that again if I tried. I could repeat it again if I tried. That was just flowing. I just had to get that out because I know somebody. Anytime God does that, it's somebody that's dealing with it, have dealt with it, or are going to deal with it, or know someone that's dealing with it. So we say to you tonight, let it go and forgive so that you can heal and be forever growing. Man, we love y'all. We thank y'all so much for tapping in on tonight. It has been a awesome night. Dr. John says people get angry because you don't become angry. That's what Dolores just said a few minutes ago. She don't get angry, but he becomes angry and he starts saying things that are hurtful, and spiteful. Just because. How many people in your life they can't make you angry? They do everything they can to make you angry, and you still smiling. Sometimes they'll fight. Sometimes they'll strike at you because you don't get angry when they get angry. And you just look at them. Oh, you're trying to look at me like I'm stupid. No, I'm not. But, if the shoe fit, wear it. And then that provokes them to anger. And then here we go in a situation or a heated fellowship because they can't understand why they can't make you angry. And I had that happen to me on the job with the supervisor because you couldn't provoke me to anger. She said, "You don't get angry, you don't curse, you don't get loud like everybody else." No, because I have Jesus. And she just looked at me and she said, "Oh," and then turned around and walked away. Okay, I guess that answer was okay with her. But there are some people in your life that want you to get angry like them. They want you to be bent out of shape and loud and using profanity like them. No, you be the jewel. You be the Christ in the situation and allow God to bring healing in the midst of that situation. Thank you all so much for tapping in on tonight. I'm telling you, this conversation blessed me. I'm so thankful that Pastor Roger said, "Okay, let's talk about this on tonight." And I'm like, "Okay, somebody needed to hear that. Somebody needed that word on tonight." Please again like and share this video. Again, there is someone that may encounter tonight, maybe even tomorrow. They may be dealing with anger, unforgiveness, and bitterness in their life. If they're not on Facebook, they're not on social media, guess what? You can go to our YouTube page at Barbara Walker 6795 and share this video with them. Copy and paste the link and send it to them. Help them before it's too late. Help the Joshua generation that's coming up behind us that have not learned how to deal with anger and jealousy and the word no in their life on tonight. You may be saving a life. Thank you so much. Know that we love you. Truly, there's nothing you can do about it. Join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. for our community Bible study with Pastor Roger Walker and Connecting in the Spirit Outreach Ministries Incorporated. I promise you, you will be blessed. He's dealing with pride versus humility in our community Bible study. Again, Barbara Walker 6795 for our YouTube channel. While you're there, please click the subscribe button. And every time we go live on Hanging with the Walkers or with our community Bible study, you will be sent an alert. If you'd like to be a guest on Hanging with the Walkers, please inbox or text us. We'd love to have you for a guest on our show. Our God is doing some great things. Stay tuned, stay connected for my new book, My Broken Pieces. I'm telling you, for whatever interruption that has happened from May until now for that book to be released, I thank God for it because it's going to be released in time and on time, as my husband said. It will be available on Amazon, and it is called My Broken Pieces by Barbara Walker, followed by my song, which is just a testimony of my life and what I've been through and what has been poured into me over the years. And I thank God for every bump, every hill, every mountain, every low place in my life. Because of that, I've been able to heal because of my broken pieces. Thank you. Love you. Truly, there's nothing you can do about it. Those that know and don't know, shout out to Blue Note. She'll be at the Sugar Shack tomorrow at 6 p.m. She's in the final 5. Please follow my page for the phone number information to be able to vote for Blue Note, aka Melinda Blue Note Daniel in the Fort Myers area. She is an awesome, across the board, all genre singer. She's just a beautiful person inside and out, and she'll be competing at the Sugar Shack in Fort Myers. If you're anywhere near that area, go over and support her tomorrow at 6 p.m. At the Sugar Shack in Fort Myers for Blue Note. You can tap onto my page, and I'll be on there live rooting for Blue Note. Again, Melinda Daniel. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for tapping on. Thank you for loving us. Thank you for encouraging us. If you've ever been on our show, met us in person, keep us in prayer. You know the words and the power of prayer. Pray for the walkers and hanging with the walkers. God is doing some great things through this podcast. I got it all right, Pastor?
Yes, you do.
Okay, shout out to our sponsors, Dr. John Frierson, FPF Investment Group, Silla Gibson, Silla's International Cooking, and also to Good Credit RX, Incredible Tax Pro, Kimberly Shannon, Chanel Johnson, and the crew. Thank you all so much for supporting us. If you want to be a sponsor of Hanging with the Walkers, inbox or text me and I can tell you how to be a support to the Hanging with the Walkers broadcast. Shout out to our apostle, Dr. Lucinda Rich. See, I said that so easy. Dr. Lucinda Rich, Apostle Lucinda Rich in the Fort Pierce area. She is the overseer of the End Time Prophetic Deliverance Ministries in Fort Pierce, Florida. There could have been a prophetic word just then, but I had to tell about that. Please continue to pray for all the young people that have started school. Shout out to our grandbabies. They look so cute going to school today. Please pray for our children, our bus drivers, the school system, our president, our government. Oh my God, just Pray. Those that know the words of prayer, please pray. Cover our young people, our children. So much is going on, so many crazy things out there, but pray for them. Watch out for the school buses, cars, watch out for the buses, watch out for the cars, and all of us watch out for our children. Okay, I got it. Love you, love you, love you. Have a great night. Be blessed. Peace.
Peace.